Hey guys, what's going on? 5:50 a.m. here. Just thought I'd check in with the video updates. Right now, I'm reading a book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. It's so far, I'm only in the first couple chapters, pretty early on, but I did do the academy that he has with our team, our Revista real estate office, and gleaned a lot of information with that. And that followed up after we had gone through Insane Productivity with Darren Hardy. We did that course. I think it's a 12-week course, and we met every Tuesday. Our real estate team, Joshua Smith led it, and it was a whole lot of change and improvement, little things to add up to big results. And then we followed that up with Atomic Habits. Really enjoyed that. And it's interesting to me. So why bring that up? With what's going on right now, things seem really crazy. And there's a lot of uncertainty in the air. I know people are scared of unemployment, the economy crashing, the housing market crashing, all these concerns, and what's going to take place. So, I'm reading this book, I just finished 12 Rules for Life, and, it's kind of funny, take time to read something to kind of root yourself. So as these storms go, you have something to kind of hold you in place, give you some hope, some encouragement in times of concern like this. But wanted to dive in a principle that James Clear he was talking about in his book when I was just reading it this morning, and that we too often become attached to the outcome of a goal. So we set a big goal. I got to hit this goal, whether it's weight loss, finances, work, our career, a relationship, and I'm so guilty of this. And it's not necessarily maybe a bad thing because goals are great, but when we get so attached to the goal, this is what success is, or this is what is going to change my life, that we either have to hit that goal and we have a success and we feel good momentarily, or we miss that goal and we're a failure. There's no in between. And what that does to us is, in the moment, our happiness is delayed. So until you hit that goal, until you've lost 100 pounds, I'm currently in my weight loss journey right now, and I'm about still like 95 pounds off where I would like to be goal wise. So if you know me or see me in person, I'm not the way I would like to be or used to be, and I'm not the goal where I'm working towards. But when we set a goal, we get so fixed on the outcome and not the process that our happiness is delayed, our pleasure, we're oftentimes, you don't feel like you're doing anything good or you're a failure just because you haven't even hit that goal yet. And it's kind of interesting to think about. We're spending most of the time unsatisfied or unhappy because we're so focused on that goal and achieving it or not achieving it, that the rest of the time, or we don't have any goals and we're just like, kind of going through life. And I've done that so many times before, where you just feel, unfulfilled and unsatisfied anyways. But I've spent so much time dissatisfied. Well, I'm not where I want to be in this relationship. I'm not where I want to be in my business. I'm not where I want to be with my health. And I spend so much daily time in that. I think that adds up. Just little frustration added daily. Over time, you just become an angry or, maybe depressed or anxious person. And it has a total effect on everything in your life. Just like if you water a plant daily, it's going to bloom. If you neglect it week after week, it's going to die. And so I think it's really important with what the book I was reading this morning is to detach from the outcome and attach to the process. Now, I've heard my mentors and leaders say this before, but until this year, I haven't really understood the meaning of that. It's like, yeah, detach from the outcome, attach to the process, enjoy the process. It's the enjoyment is in the process or the suffering to getting to that moment. And I'm just like, that's crazy. No, the enjoyment is in the moment that you're shooting for, the championship, whatever it is, the 100 pounds off. But over the last few months, in this book, Atomic Habits, talks about small changes, not radical boom change overnight. And usually those radical changes aren't sustainable, but small changes over time can be. So I've been working with my health coach, who's also my real estate mentor, Joshua Smith. We've worked together for years and, kind of partnered through things, and just a pretty good relationship to have in my life. And working on health, and which directly impacts business. So we're working on business together, we're working on health. And so I came to him for some help, and we've been working since August. So let's see, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. So about 7-8 months. Hey, I'm not a math whiz, okay? I can't just do it off the top of my head. You judge me if you must, but so working together for that amount of time and my goal is to, I was 302 pounds when I reached out to Josh and said, hey man, something's got to change. I just keep kind of going up, and year after year, there's nothing I can do. I keep trying these small changes and nothing lasts. I lose 20 pounds, I gain 40 back. I've make progress for 30 days and then I spend 6 months going the opposite. So I finally reached out, and it was so funny because I wanted to change overnight, obviously, but we worked on small changes, and it was cleaning up my kind of liquid calories first. We started to do 160 ounces of water a day, and which to me seemed extreme. I drink these 32-ounce bottles of water, and I have like about 5 of these for the day. And we incorporated removing cream and sugar from coffee. So for the last 7 months, I've been drinking predominantly black coffee, like 2 cups a day, and even my green tea, no honey, no sweetener, just straight green tea. It's like, what? Disgusting. But, I've come to like it now, and it's funny, working with just that over time, the water intake and the black coffee have become a habit. I don't even think about it. I'll go into Starbucks, and it could be a cheat day or whatever on the health, and I'll end up walking out with a black coffee, and I'll go, oh, darn it, I didn't get like the thing that I thought I wanted with all the sugar and calories. I just got so accustomed that, boom, I'm just drinking the black coffee. It's almost gone before I realized that I had even ordered a black coffee. But these were small changes put in place day after day, month after month. And here we are 7 months later, and I'm not an earth-shattering weight loss, but making those small changes. We also did time management where, focused on going to bed the same time every night. Now, I haven't been perfect in all of this, but there's been some consistency where you can see that my, going to bed earlier, waking up earlier has become a habit. And, if you don't stay up too late, you're probably not going to eat a bunch of bad foods because, you're curbing those cravings before they happen by going to sleep earlier. So we worked on the sleep schedule, worked on the calories through the liquids, and we started doing intermittent fasting, working at 12 hours. You stop eating at 8 p.m., you don't have another meal till 8 a.m. And then we kicked that up from 12 to 14 to 16, and it was slow change. Okay, I was seeing like almost no weight loss at first, and I was about 57 inches around my waist and 302 pounds. This last week I weighed in at 272 pounds and 52 inches. So I went from 57 inches around my waist to 52. So a 5-inch loss around my waist and 30-pound weight loss, which, anybody that does that, it's usually a huge goal, which it is for me too. And, clothes are fit a lot better. And, during that time, I was focused on the goal at the beginning. But as time went on and it took so long to adapt to these small changes that we're doing, and we started to incorporate other things with eating healthier, cleaning up the meals, and that's going to have some effect going into the months forward. I had no option but to actually attach to the process, and because there was no instant results, and I started to enjoy it. I started to kind of enjoy like the the trying to get 5 of these in, and then it became a thing of pride. Like, I drink this much water each day, and I started to notice a difference in my joints because I was getting better hydrated. Better hydration equals better joints. Yeah, my energy levels went up, and little things started to compound and make my life better. So you have more energy, you feel less sluggish, you're able to react better in business and life and family, and the weight's coming off. I have more bursts of energy to do hikes and skateboarding again, basketball with my sons, walks with the family, things like that. And I've started to fall in love with the process, and it still matters to me, my goal, but this is a process I'd like to live for the rest of my life, and I enjoy doing these things. I have almost a schedule where it's like, I drink this water, I drink this amount of coffee, and I only drink about 2 cups a day, if that, and maybe 1. And it's like there's certain times I've fallen into these routines and patterns, and it's enjoyable to fulfill those routines and patterns. It's not just I'm waiting to be happy and satisfied at the end. So another thing I've started doing too, for me personally as a Christian and a follower of Christ, is reading my Bible and praying. That's super important to me, and kind of a foundational aspect of my life and my day. And for years, it became kind of intermittent if I would hit those practices or not on a daily basis. Now I kind of consistently would pray, just in reaction to the day, and just, hey, God, help me with this, whatever. And I'd still be going to church with family and learning things and gleaning and growing. But I kind of started declining, I feel like, in my faith and my beliefs, in which, if that's a foundation for myself or for someone, if you start to decline from what you used to do, that was the foundation that can have a huge impact in, affecting anxiety levels, depression, your thought process, your feelings about yourself, your relationships, how you treat others, how you interact with people. And so it became important to me to reinstitute, getting some time alone with my Bible. And it kind of mirrored this health journey because, as we worked on the sleep schedule, which is so important for your health and your weight loss, I was getting up early again, which affects my business, getting up at like 4:30 a.m. And I had time before my family got up, my wife and kids got up, to have some time alone. And, before I was actually setting a goal for myself, I'd motivate myself to get up early so I'd have some time to YouTube, Netflix, or whatever before I got to the office, because it's really important for me to have my own personal downtime. And if it was quiet in the house, maybe that was the best time I got it. But it naturally just started to go from that was my goal to I started reading just 1 chapter a day. That's like stuff I used to do in high school. And now there's a certain spot on the couch where I go to each morning. It's quiet, turn on the lamp, sit down with my Bible. I read my chapter. It's gone from reading a chapter to reading a chapter to reading all sorts of commentary to dissect that chapter. It went from, I'm just going to pray for a couple minutes, where sometimes I'm sitting there for 30 minutes in prayer and meditation and thinking about my life, thinking about how these scriptures apply to my life and my relationships, and diving deeper into myself. It's just all been a natural part of the process over the last several months, where it's my mindset is changing and I'm feeling more prepared for the day. And it doesn't mean that, I read this and, everything's fixed, my life is roses. Still have problems and challenges, still have, things where, my mental state is not the best, but things are beginning to compound on each other over time. No major change in the first 30, 60 days, but now it's a routine and a habit that I have to do in the morning. I also watch these things, Darren Hardy, little 5-minute video podcast he emails out Monday through Friday. And it's basically, I get up 4:30, I do my getting ready routine for the day, I go get my Bible, have my spot on the couch. After that, I get my cup of coffee, sit down, watch my Darren Daily, drink my cup of coffee, and I head to the office. And I usually listen to an Audible book on the way. And these little things, it's now like, that's my morning routine. And I've been doing it for months, and it could stop tomorrow, or it may continue into the future. Who knows? We're just at the beginning. But the important thing is I was reading the book Atomic Habits this morning. James Clear talks about, really enjoying the process and the routines, and finding fulfillment in that versus just in the goal. Because if the goal is the only thing that we're going to be satisfied with, we're either going to fail and be disappointed in ourselves, or we're going to accomplish it and we're going to be happy. But then happiness is delayed so far in the future. I'm finding my own personal satisfaction and happiness with these routines that I'm putting in place in my life, and enjoying the process, enjoying the weight loss journey, enjoying the self-development journey, just by hitting these little routines each day. I find satisfaction in that daily now, and I find preparedness and relief. And so I wanted to say that, to encourage, because right now there's a lot of uncertainty. So it gives us time to worry, or time to, reinvest in ourselves. If at the end of the day, the humanity has such a great ability to overcome things and to survive through things. And, I think the Black Plague, one of the worst plagues in history, had like a 50% mortality rate. The pneumonic plague had like a 95% mortality rate, which is huge. But even 50%, I mean, that's big. And, humanity has survived through that. So we've come through worse things. Now, maybe this will be the end of everything. And if it is, then, I would just, what can we do if it's the end, except enjoy the time we had, realize nothing lasts forever, not even the 80s. And I was born in the 80s. I'm not, actually, I didn't live through the 80s. I just, grew up watching Karate Kid. It's one of my favorite eras. All my favorite movies, a lot of my favorite bands are from the 80s. But yeah, nothing lasts forever, not even the 80s. So, you got to be happy for the time you got. Just enjoy, and be thankful for your loved ones, thankful for your life and where it's taking you. Even if it's been a lot of pitfalls, there's still got to be good in there somewhere that you can look back, what, hey, I enjoyed my time. But, most likely this isn't the end of the world. And if that's the case, we're going to get through this to the other side. And are we going to get through it, and just survive, barely eke through? Or can we be investing in ourselves so much during this time that we come out a different person on the other side, prepared for how everything changes in society, and be a better person for it? So that's up to you. That's up to me. And, we got to choose what we choose daily. But, hope you make it a great day, and stay tuned. Hopefully got more positive influence and updates, coming your way. Have a great day.